So welcome to week 3 on time and the terrain, and I'm trying something a little bit different. I am in our Sydney offices today, so I thought it'd be useful to show you some of the terrain that I observe when I'm in our primary marketplace. I clearly need to get some light, so I'll work on that in the future. But for today, this week, what have we seen, what have we heard, what have we experienced, and what does that mean for you if you're watching this as a leader? So we talked last week about supply chain challenges and really all the issues which are now being exposed in these very, very complex systems. So just quickly on this, 2 more examples this week. So one of my team had an encounter with somebody who's very reliant on the supply of a shoe manufacturer in the US, and what certainly they were surprised by, and I was as well, was that shoe manufacturer's entire manufacturing process for the last 6 months has been diverted purely towards PPE. They've made no footwear whatsoever for 6 months. And what they have now just essentially informed all of their customers is that they don't anticipate making any footwear for at least another 6 months, but it could go beyond that because the PPE demand is so high and they're prioritizing that. So that's a real challenge. If maybe 10%, 20%, but what about 50 or even 80% of your retail shelf inventory is reliant on a supplier who's now making PPE? So that was footwear, and there was another one that we came across, which is a manufacturer, an Australian brand, but they manufacture almost entirely in America, and also their factories, and this is what was of home linens and so forth, almost all of their manufacturing capacity has also gone over to PPE production. Vital, crucial in the fight against COVID. But as a retailer, your business is now genuinely threatened, and as an Australian brand, what are you going to do, and how are you going to communicate this to your market when you are about to run out of inventory? So just, we don't have any solutions here, these are just observations. The solutions we'll get to later, but this, something to highlight, and certainly if you're a leader with an inventory-driven business, I would hope you're right across this, but let's think very, very critically about how you're going to navigate potential inventory shortages and what you can do. And if that's a topic you'd like to explore with peers, please get in touch with us. We are looking very seriously at initiating peer-level discussion forums amongst leaders sharing similar problems. And if you would like to be involved with that, please get in touch. Beyond that, some overseas observations again. So I had a long conversation with one of our suppliers in the UK during the week, and the business landscape in the UK is very different to the business landscape in Australia from an attitude perspective. So this is a supplier that goes right across a number of sectors, deals with large corporates, with small entities, with service providers, with government, etc., etc. But holistically, his belief was that the UK market is very adaptive. Businesses are learning quickly, they're acting on their feet, but crucially, a lot of business confidence has essentially been underwritten by the British government putting a lot of money into the economy via business loans and grants, but these have been done direct to business as opposed to via the banks, who for the most part in the UK have done the same as they have here and in America, and they've just retained most of the funds. So that has made a critical difference, and the key phrase that this supplier used was that they have factored risk into the price, they've shifted, and they're just moving forward. And I think that is a key difference that I have not seen enough of here yet. There has not been enough adaptability, enough shifting, and enough changing of factoring in risk in a formal way and then moving forward beyond it. And then finally, talking about the emotional spectrum, and I'm going to do a run of conversations around this as a part of how we work next week. But I personally have enjoyed quite an emotional roller coaster this week. And in sharing this with a number of clients, they've had similar experiences in previous weeks or very recent ones as well. So I think really the word on that is referencing specifically 2 conversations I've had with global senior executives who just basically said, I got to the point where I just had to stop. I had to stop. I couldn't essentially sort of deal with any more COVID related news, and I had to go and take a break and take a walk and just get away for a while. So if that is you, and you're watching this as a senior leader, please don't feel in any way, shape or form that you are alone in feeling embattled right now. And that just taking a little break, having a cognitive shift and a down regulation can be very, very productive and beneficial in moving past and beyond all of this stuff. So that's time on the terrain for this week. Really just observations and provocations, I hope, of what are the key issues going on in the marketplace right now, and crucially, what are the key issues for leaders today. I hope this has been helpful. I'd love to see your comments, and I'll see you again next week for more time on the terrain. And I'll get some lights.
If you've enjoyed today's time on the terrain and you'd like to check out previous week's observations and commentaries, you can do so at 4iLeadership.com/insights.